Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome back to our weekly session. So today, our senior member Sanjay will be talking about competitive photography for hobbyists. So without further delay, let's hear from Sanjay. Over to you, Sanjay.
Yeah, hi, Levin. Very good evening to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, whom I can see, whom I cannot. Very good evening. And today's topic, as you know, that I will be talking something about the competitive photography from the hobbyist perspective. Before to start, I would like to mention as a kind of a disclaimer that these views are typically of mine in my last 5-6 years journey with the competitive photography world. And I have picked out some of the links, some of the documents and pictures from the PSA, FIAP and RPS websites. So with the due credit given to them. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, so something about me. I'm in Oman. For most of the FSO people, they know me, but for others, I know there are a lot of ISCPG members also who are present to today's meeting. I'm in Oman from 2004 December. I'm working in the oil and gas sector. Photography is not my hobby. Travel is my passion. I've done with 33 countries. My target before I die to touch 50 at least. I was using a FM10 film camera way back in 1999 when my first kid was born. I sold it out when I came to Oman in 2004 because the processing was very difficult. It was very expensive. I bought a small 4 megapixel point and shoot camera. I was shooting with that and I was traveling. And I bought my first DSLR in 2012. I was associated with FSO since 2013. Which is now ISCPG. I moved into the competitive photography and my first international acceptance was on the Fool's Day of 2015. Quite remarkable one. In 2019, I became the second Grandmaster from PSA, Photographic Society of America, from India. My Insta handle, Libyan has already shared. I put the only picture in the whole presentation is this one. I don't know. Can you just tell me what's your best case like for this picture? Anyone? I would love to. Livin, if you can unmute the mic. Any guesses about this picture on the right bottom?
This is the Sanjay Dada. I think this is the first FSO Jabul Shams.
Absolutely, bang on. This is my first FSO where I meet Libin, Srivastav, Baiju, a lot of people. And the fun actually started from here. This was a start trail with under able guidance from the experts. Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next one. So what is the objective of today's presentation? We will talk about a brief on the competitive photography, what's it all about. As a hobbyist, not as a professional, as just a part-time hobby, what are our opportunities? What are the various photographic bodies existing in today's world? And I'll be sharing some information to shape a goal. Okay. The first thing is, why photography? Why are you into photography? So I would love to hear some comments from them. Maybe Livin, if you just unmute everybody's mic, just 2, 3. What do you feel? Why you are into photography? If that be the question, Can someone say 1 or 2 words?
Bring back pleasant memories.
Okay, that's wonderful. Manjunath-ji, thank you. What about others?
Sanjay-ji, photography, it's a passion. We love spending time for photography. And that is one among the best time we spent. That's it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I feel satisfied when I take a person.
Kingston, wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, when I give back, actually, you can see the smile on the face. Actually.
Yeah.
So
okay. Good enough. Okay. Maybe you can, Livin can mute everyone. So that's what I put it. I'm just loving it. Now today everybody is having a kind of a device, mobile, tab, pad, whatever, and they have a camera. We want to use it more often, love watching pictures, so want to shoot the similar pictures. So that's typically the driving force which leads us into photography. The second aspect of it, what I would like to more focus on during the presentation, is the kind of a goal setting. We are very comfortable in our professional field of KPI, KRA, goals and all, and you might ask me that, why do you need a goal in your hobby? There could be 2-3 reasons. One is, a person like me, I can't work without a goal. Okay, there has to be a target. But for many of us, it could be only fun. I don't need to have a goal. I don't need to set up a target. Sorry. However, for some, you can set up a goal even being a hobbyist, because you want to improve your hobby and the skill, which is not your core competency, but still, I mean, as a hobby also. I mean, suppose if you are playing guitar, I mean, you want to play it well. You want to play it better than many others. Okay, so that could be one thing. So there could be a short-term goal, there could be a long-term goal, that immediately every year I want to do this, and then in the long run, what I want to be, what I want to become. So that leads to a plan. Do you have a plan? That's a question. Okay, so probably many of us, or maybe I should say the most of us, are in the crossroads. Like, I have a full-time job, I have my own business, and there are things like, yes, I love photography. I have a DSLR camera or mobile camera. I have done enough photo work. I have attended quite a few workshops by the people who come to Muscat and taking a course. I'm taking pictures since long, maybe 10, 15 years. I don't know now what to do. I have learned a bit of post-processing because FSO organizes some Photoshop workshop or the Lightroom workshop. I have done my bit. I have watched some YouTube video. More or less, I know the basic skill. Now what next? And then there could be a situation like, I've taken part in many social media competitions. I became first. I got some gifts, maybe a camera, maybe a tripod, maybe a bag. What to do next? I mean, how do I improve and where do I go from here? So that's probably a big question in quite a few of our mind. So now the thing is that, what are the opportunities we have as a hobbyist? So first and foremost thing is turn professional. So if you are confident, if you are skillful, and if you know the trick, you know how to capture market, you know how to run a business, probably that's high time that you can think of going as a professional photographer. But today's discussion is not into that. I don't want to go to that point. The other options are, you can sell your pictures on the online portals, like we have Getty Image, Shutterstock, and Almaty. There are various international competitions, which is taken, which basically organizes by Sony, HIPA, Siena, where you can compete, you can earn prizes. This could be cash, this could be kind, anything. There is another option is, there are various free competitions goes on the internet, which is organized by the agencies like the tourism companies, say for instance the Oman tourism or Indian tourism, the state tourism. Then there are institutions, there are camera manufacturers, typically like you see Tamron Lens, they organize a lot of competitions every year. There are various photographic clubs which organizes competition. There are prizes in terms of cash prize. The other aspect is there are a lot of social media engagement and competitions going on. You can see in the Facebook pages or Insta pages, there are 1x, 500px, 365px. There are a lot of competitions, so you can take part in that and compete. The last one possibly is a kind of a pay and play. Okay. Now, just like plug and play, I just put it play and play, because here you pay money and play the game. Sometimes you win, and if you win, there could be prizes, or there could be just simply certificates or accolades, or getting your print up on the photographic exhibition or show where people come and see, and you get some popularity, you know. The other options in the pay and play is you can get the online distinctions from different institutions and clubs. You can join institutions. You can do voluntary services, like you can accumulate the data. You can be a mentor. You can take the voluntary courses. So many things are possible. You know? You can do judging on the national and international level. You can conduct workshop, photo walk, or photo tours. You can open a company which does all this. And the most important thing is it broadens up your horizon. You start meeting a lot of photographers who could be just like hobbyists like you worldwide. You can engage, you can travel to their countries, to their places. I do that in most of my solo travel things. I get hooked up with the equal like-minded people who are typically the hobby photographers of different countries. I go and spend time with them, and it's fantastic. You develop a friendship, and it goes on and on. You know? So that's the good thing about these options. Okay, so we touch upon the first few items very quickly. First thing is the sale online. I'm sure that many of you already putting your pictures in the Getty Image, Shutterstock, or Almaty. The bullet points of this particular feature is that you need high resolution pictures. So definitely you have to process and generate copies of a high res so that online you can sell it. People can buy and make large prints. If you are shooting typically the people, then most of the time they need a model release unless the people are in a public place. It underwent a lot of approval process. Some are very strict, some are probably more open. It generates a small pay for you because many of the photos, even if it sells for $5 or $10, but they work on the volume. So in a particular classic picture, if it sells for 100, 200 copies, even $5 means a lot. I mean, it starts generating some money for you. This you can do it at your own pace. There is no time pressure. You can, whenever you get time, you can upload pictures on these websites, the portals. And if you are lucky, I've seen even in our FSO also, I'm sure that many of us earning some bit of money out of it. So that's the first thing, which is sell online your pictures. Because what I feel is that all our FSO people, they have hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and quite a few of them are very good. I mean, they're exceptional. At least you must be having, if you sort it out over the last 5-6 years, you will get at least 100 to 200 excellent pictures, which we get to see during our exhibitions and all. And then you can upload it on these websites and just wait that probably some of it will start getting sold over and over again, and you get some money out of it. Okay, so the second part is why to enter competition, because the first one is not a competition. It's just you just put it on the websites, and if people are liking it, they buy it. The question is, why do I need to compete? I mean, why to enter competitions? There is a I picked up this particular statement from the PSA journal way back in 2005, which says that for the photographer who is confident in his or her abilities and is knowledgeable of the techniques available, entering contest can enable the photographer to compare his or her works with a vast number of competitive photographers. So that's probably the very basic driving factor why you need to be in competition. To see where you are and to move on from there, I mean, how to improve yourself. And of course, I mean, if you win photography competitions, just like any other competition, it's a good ego moral booster. You can say you feel good, you feel proud, you feel happy. Sometimes there are awards in terms of cash, and sometimes there are awards in terms of, like gifts. And sometimes your photo gets exhibited in exhibition, in art prints. And you feel good because there are a lot of people coming and seeing your photo. So that's probably why one should enter competitions. That's the thing. Now, what are the competitions worldwide which are happening? The first thing is, if I start from the, if you start from the left, oh, sorry. Yeah, the first thing is the international competitions. There could be two types. It could be free, it could be paid. I mean, as you know that competitions like HIPA or Sienna or Sony, they are free competitions. But being free, there are thousands or millions of people who are participating. So, the probability is low. Even if you have a very good picture, it's very difficult. At the same time, there are competitions like MIFA, the Moscow International Film Photo Awards, or TIFA, Tokyo International Photo Awards, Color Awards, Monochrome Awards. These are the other organizers organizers who organize this kind of competitions every year, but they charge some money, like $20, $30. There could be two typical, like sections where you put a single image or you put a multiple image, like a documentary kind of thing, like 6, 7 image or 10 images. So that's one part, which is the international competitions which is happening. There is there are photographic web page, like if you know Pixoto or Guru Shots or Viewbug, 1x, 500px. These are the typical photographic web page available on the internet, where you can put up your pictures, and there are continuously weekly, monthly, or theme-based competitions going on where you can participate. Okay, so that's the second option. And most of these photographic web page are free, and I will talk about it in my next slide that there are exceptions also. Then definitely there are social media competitions which you are all probably participating. There are hundreds of Facebook pages and Facebook clubs where the members, they put up the pictures are selected random based on some jury on the weekly, monthly basis. There are yearly competition based on the weekly best pictures. So you are aware of this, and I'm sure that many of you are taking part in this. There are also various free competitions going on. As I mentioned, that there are tourism company, there are camera and gear manufacturers. Like the most popular one in India a few years back was Camerana, and they were continuously organizing the competition for 2-3 years, I guess. And there was a huge popularity of Camerana, and they were providing the cash prize also. So that's one option. Apart from Camerana, like if you look at Bodox, or if you look at Tamron, if you look at Think Tank, anybody, and you think of any gear manufacturers, they organizes the competitions. So that's the 4 various aspects you can divide, like the competitions worldwide. Now, coming to the cost part, these are mostly from zero to low cost. There's not very high cost involved in this kind of competitions. It's very easy to participate. It's information is available on the internet, and the specifications alone are very comfortable. I mean, it's not a very complicated specification what they ask for. Most of the competition are theme-based competition. They decide on that. And the challenges are that you need to know the competition in for the right time, before the end date. And so you have to be very alert. You have to spend time on the internet and find out about information about this competition. Another big challenge is there's a wide range of quality pictures comes in depending upon the competition. So it's always very difficult competitions. Many of the website I've seen, that's my personal feeling, that there works on algorithm, it requires a lot of engagement. Like you have to be on that particular web page, you have to like, you have to comment, and there's a certain points-based system which works, I feel, based on an algorithm. So that's a catch in this. So the basic challenge for people like us who are not full-time into photography, and we have also 8 to 10 hours job in the office, that we don't find much time to capture all this information on the social media, that where this kind of competition is happening, what is the last date, what is the themes. So that's probably one of the big problem what I feel. Okay, so this page I just kept a few this web page on the photographic websites. Like one is the Guru Shots. Probably you are aware of this, Flickr, Pixoto, or Viewbug. All of you can probably some of you are already accessing. All of you can access this, put your pictures, and just try out. I mean, there are competitions which gives you the cash and kind prizes, as I already mentioned. So, as I said, the basic access for all these pages are typically free, but for the advanced access for all competitions, to access all competitions or to do more uploading, they call for a paid membership. So that's again comes money. They typically works on an algorithm. You need a lot of involvement, comments, interaction, regular uploading is required. But I personally feel that it gives you a good head start. Like you first move into from just for fun to very base level competitions, and you get some recognition in an international audience of your pictures, and you are regularly competing. So there's always a need of going out and shooting more pictures, and you start shooting theme-based pictures. So that's one advantage of it. In some cases, there are prizes. I'm sure many of you already won many prizes, and there are plenty of prizes around because even the sponsors are there, so you get some good cash or kind, anything. We come to pay and play. The paid competitions, if you have a very high participation fee, then you will always have a very high reward money. So there are quite a few competitions I've seen that we ask for $50, $60 per competition. For maybe 1 to 4 pictures, but there's a heavy prize money for this, like London International Creative Photo Awards or Color Awards, more famous a few. And there is another part of it which is called the photo salons, which we will be focusing on in today's discussion. Typically, you have to join or form clubs. And then it's typically a very low cost, but you play for long, it's a long duration one. And you get online distinctions from institutions or clubs which are acclaimed internationally. You can join institutions and you can do the voluntary activity. Like one of our member, Raju, is already doing that with PSA, Photographic Society of America. You can be a judge and you can keep judging international and national photo competitions. Now, once you reach a certain level, people offer you to be a judge. You can do workshop. You can help others with your sharing knowledge. You can organize also salons. You can form your own club, and then you can start registering with these governing bodies and start organizing salons on your own. And salooning today is a big business. We'll go through that because there's a lot of money involved in this. Okay, now what are the clubs and institutions we were talking about in India? The main club what I've seen is the Federation of Indian Photography. Their main office is in Patna, Bihar. And this is the website link. If you Google it with the Federation of Indian Photography or FIAP, you can easily see that. Almost all the photographic clubs in India are registered with this body. I mean, they are the governing body, you can see. There is another club which is also very old and very famous, which is called the Photographic Society of India, PSI. They are located in Bombay. And that's also very old and very recognized. There are a lot of very old photographers and they are associated with it. And apart from these two, there are also quite a few, which is one is the WPI. This is the Wildlife Photographers Association of India. They are located in Delhi. APG is located in Hyderabad. There's the Andhra Pradesh Academy, and they're more into the documentary journalism, journalistic photography. The YPS is located in Bangalore, and PAD, Photographic Association of Dum Dum, is located in Calcutta, and they are probably one of the oldest. Mr. Benu Sen is the founder of it, and this is one of the oldest photographic institution who provides you the photographic degree. They have a proper photographic course also. It's a full-time course, and PAD degree is quite, recognized in India. About if you look at the worldwide, the most popular one are typically the three. One is located in US. It's called the Photographic Society of America. In short, it's called the PSA. And the other one is the Federation International de Photographic Art. This is called FIAP. Okay, and the third one is the Royal Photographic Society UK. Okay, these three, if you see in worldwide, is the most popular, most recognized. Almost all the photo competitions in saloon, whatever happens, they are affiliated with these three clubs. Apart from this, there are also various countries. They have their own club, which is extremely popular all over the world. One is the PSSO, this Photographic Society of Singapore, located in Singapore. ISF is the Image Sans Frontier. It's called the Image Beyond Barriers. That's in France. MOL is the Master of Light, which is in Canada. GPU is Global Photographic Union, which is actually a consortium of Italy, Greece, Cyprus, quite a few countries. And they're also very good. Now, the question is, What is a photographic salon? I mean, we talk about a lot of this thing in the earlier slide. So photographic competition for all is organized by the photography clubs, and they are patronized by these clubs like the institutions, which is FIAP, PSA, RPS, in different medium. It could be digital, it could be print, or it could be 3D. And one can compete with this with their own photographs, get an acceptance if it is a photograph qualifies for a certain marks, score a certain marks, and the salon and circuits. One of the prerequisite for photographic distinctions is this competitions, okay? And these sometimes they are free, sometimes they are paid. Sometimes there's a big prize money involved in this competitions. Otherwise, there is a medals and certificates for winning. What do we need to know if I want to move into salon, like, I mean, if I want to go for this competitive photography through salons? First of all, we need to know about the national or international bodies. Which are they? Like the Photographic Society, America, PSA, FIAP, GPU, ISF. In fact, PSO is here the coordinator for the FIAP in Oman, Photographic Society of Oman. They are registered with FIAP. Because FIAP you cannot participate individually, it has to be done through your local representative of FIAP, and PSO is their local representative. You need to know about the genres or themes. Typically the themes are like you have an open color or open monochrome sections, so it's a color picture or a monochrome picture, and also you have photojournalism, photo travel, nature. And under photojournalism, if you have typically different, like genres, like it's called live, people, sports. So the photojournalism picture could be more focused on sports, like it could be a bullfight or a horse race or a camel race or a kickboxing, anything. It could be people where you basically shoot people of, say on the Matra, you shoot a picture of the fisherman selling fish and all. It could be daily life of the people also. Photo travel, it could also have the subgenres like life, people, street or architecture, like Grand Mosque. It could be street pictures of very typical streets like say Matra or anywhere, where by just looking at the picture you can see, you can feel the sense of a place and time. The nature, there are a lot of varieties, like you can have wildlife, flowers, it could be landscapes, it could be macro, it could be birds, it could be mammals separately. You need to understand rules and regulation, who are the governing bodies and organizers. You have to keep a track of all your acceptance patronage, because if you want to go for the distinction. And then there are a lot of volunteers who are available and experts where you can seek for help, and they're always ready to help you for this. What are the different ways of distinction? So we are talking about that I have a hobby, I have a bag full of pictures, I want to compete, and I know now I understand what salon is, and then I know by doing this I get a Bachelor of Engineering or a CA kind of a degree in photography. So what are the options I have? Typically for this degree or distinction, there are two types of competitions. One is your picture acceptance based, and another is your portfolio based. So first we will address portfolio. Now what is a portfolio? Portfolio is a collection of more cohesive pictures based on a particular theme. Okay. So typically the membership institution globally, like Royal Photographic Society, UK or PSA or GPU, they offer this portfolio based distinctions. They are also applicable for certain genres, like it can be a fine art, it can be landscape, documentary, travel. You need to prepare a SOI, which is called a statement of intent. It's a short paragraph, maybe of 150, 200 words, or sometimes it's only 100 words, where you have to express that what you want to show through those set of pictures. Okay. Then it followed by the individual images. There will be a panel of judge who will evaluate your panel. Your panel is a collection of all the pictures. And you will be focusing on they will focus on your statement of intent, that what you are going to show. And individually all pictures will be followed, and they will analyze every picture on the technical excellence level. Before you appear for this exam day, there is something called advisory sessions where you can seek help from the experts, and you take your panel and go to an expert, and he's an old member and having those distinctions. He analyzes and helps you to channelize your thoughts or select some of the pictures. and then you go for the final assessment day. That's how the portfolio being evaluated. The other option is typically the salon based, as we will see. You submit the picture based on the genres, and then there's an acceptance and award, and you have to keep a worksheet with all your record of the acceptance, and then you go ahead with your distinctions. Now, for the portfolio-based distinction, the challenges are that you need to write a statement of intent. So you have to be very clear on what your subject is, on what you want to work on. Site, like as an example, you can work on the Matra fish markets, for instance. So you have a collective pictures of 10 or 15 or 20 pictures, which shows that how the Matra fish market is happening every day morning. The hustle and bustle, the people are coming and they're auctioning the fishes, some of the close-up of the fish, the boat, everything, like it's a nice storytelling. And you submit a cohesive body of work that depicts and communicates the aims and objectives set out in the SOI, Statements of Intent. And the body of the work, which depicts the individual vision and understanding. And what they evaluate is typically the camera work and technical quality, the visual awareness, the communication, the overall impression of the particular image. And when you go on the higher distinction level, they start looking for your technical ability using the techniques and photographic skills, and a high level of understanding, craft, and artistic presentation. I think what I will do is I will try to show you one or two examples of this portfolio, because I find it pretty interesting. I mean, if you see, then now the question is, if I click, hopefully you will be able to see. Livin, can you please unmute and tell me whether you can see?
No, you had to stop sharing and then select the other one.
Okay, so I stop and then I go.
Yes.
Now you can see, right?
Yes.
Okay, so see, this is a very gentleman, good friend of mine, Muhammad Ali Salim. He is from Bangladesh, lives in US in Slong, and this is a panel. It talks about the Manhattan, the buildings of Manhattan, and you see this. There's a panel of almost, if you see, 21 pictures, I guess, 3 plus 7, 20 pictures, and you see that how he see the Manhattan high-rise building. So it's a very cohesive panel, nicely, it's totally based on architecture, and you see at different point of time, he has taken it from different perspective, point of view, and that's his panel, that's all about his panel, Lower Manhattan architecture. We'll see one more. So this is another panel in RPS, the Royal Photographic Society. So this guy has put up his panel totally based on this surface, the day of the surface, on the sea. And it's beautiful. I mean, this very nicely placed from soft tone to hard tone, and again soft tone. It's closed the panel from right and left by the movement. Like there are a lot of things. I mean, if you see this picture, the man is now shifting towards this, he is shifting towards this. So there's always a symmetry, uniformity. There's no harsh light between two consecutive pictures. So this is one. This is another panel from RPS. You can see this panel is of 21 pictures and all about his trip to that Masai Mara, that particular village, and his panel is like this. So I think, I mean, if you are going out with this FSO events, I mean, we probably have many such panels on bullfight. We can have it on camel race, horse race, Matra fish market, Muscat festival, the Eid in Fanja. I mean, you can have plenty of such things. So you can work out, and it's quite fun. Like, I mean, how do you work out a panel? So this is one aspect where this is something called the portfolio-based distinctions. Okay, so I go back to the presentation again. Yeah. Okay, so what are the easy steps of Saloon? Like, so first of all is getting a membership to many of the main photo institutions. You need to understand the genres, as I said, the open color, open monochrome, photo travel or photojournalism, what are the definitions of it, And then you have to read the rules carefully. It could be based on the governing body, or it could be the salon organizer, the club organizers. Then you have to size the picture as per the salon requirement, because you have to send them by email or you have to upload it on their website, and everybody, they buy some server space. So there's a limitation on the picture size and dimensions. You have to identify your pictures as per the genre, but at the same time, many of the picture can go into multiple genres. Like if I have a picture, any picture can go to color and monochrome section. So if I have a picture on travel, I can always put it on color and monochrome. And some of the picture of travel is also applicable to be on the photojournalism. You know, like the sports pictures, it can go well with the photojournalism. Yeah, that's catch is that you have to have enough cash in bank. That's one catch, and you have to have typically a PayPal account and online bank transfer facility, because most of them work on PayPal, and in India most of them work on this online bank transfer, and then you can simply participate. We will go through typically I'll just touch upon the definition of these typical genres. Like the first thing is the open color. In color on mono, the definition is more or less same. I mean, anything and everything goes here. And at the same time, there can be heavily processed pictures. You know, it can be serial, or it can be HDR, it can be creative. Like I've seen pictures where a woman's head gets, like divided into two and the parts are flying out of it. It can be anything. It's just simply your imagination and your skill on, I say, Photoshop. You know, so it can be very beautiful pictures, which is not single one. It can be stitched. You can get clouds from somewhere else. It can get sea from somewhere else, and you can put a lady standing there with a red dress. Everything goes in color. There are themes under the color section which typically focuses on, it could be woman or life or people, and many times the mono pictures are also allowed, you know, typically on the theme section, but the reverse is not applicable. In the monochrome section, we know that it has to be single tonal shades, or it could be from the pure white to pure black and only the shades of gray. Otherwise, a grayscale image. Again, it's anything and everything can go into this. Serial, HDR, creative, whatever. As I mentioned in color, it's also applicable in mono sections. Only thing is, in mono, color picture cannot be used. Okay, now these three sections, nature, photo travel, and photojournalism, are a bit tricky, you know, because these sections has a specific ethical and policy requirements from all the institutions. Typically, staging is not at all allowed, and this has become very, very strict from 2020. Typically, in the photo travel section, the definition applies to theme sections as well. This started quite some time back in 1982. Probably some of you are, you are aware of this incident in Nat Geo cover page, where they shifted the pyramid at Giza to fit it on the portrait form in the magazine cover, and there was a huge hue and cry, and then Nat Geo sent an apology letter to all, and then they said that they will not alter the photo anymore because the true representation of the photo as it is, they will put it. So it all started from there. So in line with that, the photo travel definition in typically the PSA or FIAP is very strict. I mean, it says that the objective of the PSA photo travel is to show the world as it is found naturally. So the purpose of photo travel definition is to guide the photographers towards making images that show how the world really is, rather than to arrange it and to manipulate images to obtain the best photographs. So photo travel image should be a true record of the scene. The PT definition is also a guide to exhibition judges to ensure that images that violate the definition are not accepted. Okay, having said that, but as you know that it's extremely difficult sometimes to understand that whether it is staged or not staged. I mean, this sometimes there's a very thin line between a staged picture and a candid one per se. But now people are taking much more care, and there are a lot of warning, a lot of red cards are shown in the international market, a lot of awards are reversed. So, and we'll discuss more about this definition and what probably these institutions are focusing on, that I will share with you in the following slides. Now, as a judge also, the responsibility has gone up manifold, and we are now challenged that just to make sure that the photos are not staged, so it starts with whether the image meets the photo travel definition per se. Does it look natural? Is this image result of a setup? Is it staged? Do you think it's a setup beyond reasonable doubt? Does it meet the definition of the theme? If the exhibition has some sections like people or scapes, does it match with that? Then also the images that are being judged are not meeting the PT section should be scored low or rejected straight away. That's the instruction now PSA is giving to judges like us. Then if it is happening, like repeatedly in different salons, then there is also a provision of banning that particular photographer from taking part in the international competitions. Some of the examples, like just to share with you more, the photo travel image, it says that it has to give you a sense of place and time. So typically the images which are showed as a right, you see the surfers or a boy standing on the shore and looking at the seagulls flying out. These are previously sometime because it's a nice place and people felt that, okay, I need to be there. There's a very good photo travel. I know where the place is. So we used to accept. Now there is a strict instruction not to accept any such images, which does not tell you, because this kind of pictures can be shot anywhere. I mean, you can shoot in Muscat, you can shoot it in Goa, you can shoot it anywhere. So that doesn't give you a sense of space and time. So these are now strictly no pictures. Sorry. These are the pictures which are now, it's a true picture of photo travel. You can clearly find out the scapes and that there's a place where it is, like that. I mean, the right one is the Lofoten, the famous picture. This is what was happening since ages, like, I mean, as you can see. So you can see the top picture, which is a very famous picture. I've seen hundreds of pictures like this winning awards and appreciation. And the real picture is this. There are, you can see that 50 to 100 photographers, and it's a test setup, and they're shooting, and everybody is coming out with the same frame. So now one of the guidelines now PSA is telling us, the judges, that if you see similar pictures from too many photographers, you know that it's a setup. So just simply score them 0 and cancel them out. You see on the right top, there's a famous picture of this Myanmar fisherman. I have done this. I've shot these pictures by paying $10 to them, and this is actually not the way they catch fish. This is just they're there just for the tourist, so that we can take lovely pictures, early morning, late evening, whatever you want, they will do, and there are hundreds of pictures like this. So all these pictures are now strictly banned from all the travel competitions where they are, like defining the theme as photo travel. Similarly, the bottom picture, there's a famous picture in Indonesia. Same picture you will see in Vietnam also, and these are also again set up. The close portraits, now they are putting a ban on these close portraits because you can shoot them in a studio. So, like, I mean, Pushkar, I've seen hundreds of portraits, under the tents. So those pictures are now banned as not to be other photo travel because it doesn't tell you that where it is shown. But the same portrait which is outside and in the background, you can see the camels or the people of Rajasthan and their typical river dress and all, they are now accepted because it gives you a feel of space and time. The over-processed pictures in photo travel, photojournalism, now they're banned. Like as you can see from the bottom, so those things are again strictly mono. The halos, unnatural skies, clouds, vignetting, they're all banned now. So in photo travel, people are more interested to see very natural-looking pictures. Not much of process. Okay, now another very important genre in the international photo competitions are nature. In the nature, the very strict, there are some no-nos which says the welfare of the subject is the most important. So no baiting, no harm to the animals, no staging. Like there are instances, there's a famous picture by the white tiger which catching some, birds. And then there was a huge hue and cry because that picture was awarded many times. And then it was busted that it was typically an electronic bird. And some of them pointed out the tigers, they don't hunt together. So that's against the typical, the law of nature. So there are a lot of birds picture where they shoot with the, the small birds which are in the shells, and they're opening up their beak, and somebody is putting some food or maybe another bird, and those were all staged. There's a famous picture of kingfisher jumping inside diving inside the water and picking up fish. And all those are now banned because those are all staged. They put it on a huge aquarium, and they put the kingfisher there, and they put the baits. So this is now the strict no-no for the nature. The human elements should not be present in the international nature competitions, except with those the human elements are integral part of the nature story, like the tidal waves or hurricane, or where the flood is going on. So those cases. But anything made up of human, like, if you can see a very distinctly a bridge or a road or some fence, then that's not allowed. The animal has to be in the natural environment. That's the definition. And of course, they focus on minimum processing. No heavy extra processing is not allowed. At the same time, it's not allowed to remove or add any subjects. Like, suppose if you see many of the pictures when we shoot, we saw it goes unnoticed that there's a small bit of, say, papers or something is lying, or some kachra, some plastic, and then you try to remove it on the Photoshop, which is not allowed. Cloning, those things are also not allowed in because of the nature definitions. So typically, if you see, what is allowed is only the exposure adjustment, highlight, shadow, the minimum whatever you can think of. Noise removal, dust spot, adjust the saturation level, flare removal, straightening, cropping, that's it. The adding or removing image elements not allowed, blurring backgrounds not allowed. So because many of the competitions while judging, I've seen that we the judges, we catch them because it's on the same plane, and you see say the tiger and his face and the eyes are very sharp, and on the same plane there is another wolf or something which is blurred. So they catch it very fast, and they cancel it out. We come to the wildlife. I already said this. It has to be free and unrestrained in a natural or adapted habitat. Very recently, in the international photo competition, they started accepting the zoo photographs where the animal is dependent on humans for their food. It's called the control conditions. They started now accepting it. But wildlife is not limited to mammals, birds, or insects. Marine subjects, botanical subjects, they are also allowed, like the mushrooms or fungus. Everything is allowed now. Another very interesting topic I find is the photojournalism. Here, the basic definition of photojournalism, they say, is the storytelling value, or which has some news value. So the journalistic or storytelling value of the image shall receive the priority over the pictorial quality. So people are not very bothered about the sharpness or like the grains typically. Nobody is bothered in photojournalism. They all look for the news content of it. So if in the interest of credibility, images that misrepresent the truth, such as those from the events or activities specifically arranged for photography, is not acceptable. And again, it's the same kind of definition like in travel, that if you are adding, removing, replacing any element in the original image, that is again not acceptable in the photojournalism. Very recently in India, probably some of you are aware that APG, that Andhra Pradesh Photographic Club, which is typically focused on the documentary photography, they organized every year some competitions. I think very nominal fees, they charge some 100, 200 rupees only for that. And they invite only the photojournalism pictures, and travel. I think there are only 2 sections, and they follow it very typically. The definitions, and very ethical, I find. So this is some pictures from photojournalism as a guide. Like, this typically it must include a person. If there is a human interest, there are subsections of the photojournalism. Something is called human interest. So it has to be some people or person. You cannot put anything or a city light of something. Typically, the story depicting or illustration, the interaction or emotions, the illustration or depicting the emotions needs to be there. So it cannot be a setup, which you can see the rightmost bottom. That's the setup. But this boy inside the mud or something, the emotions, yes, this can be a photojournalistic event. Typically for a sports action, no close-up action, the sports are allowed, like if you see on the left too, but the emotions showing the entire sports arena or some incident, like after scoring goals, somebody is running and hugging each other, those things are allowed as a photojournalism picture. Okay, so what are the distinctions? Typically, just to touch upon, the FIAP offers a FIAP, which is called the Associate, and then Excellence, that's the next level. And then there are certain levels of FIAP Bronze, Silver, Gold, etc., which is typically all the salon acceptance based. The highest level of designation in FIAP is MFIAP, the Master FIAP, which is typically portfolio based. It's not based on salon. So there you have to submit again a theme based cohesive set of pictures which will be evaluated. The Royal Photographic Society UK, as you know, they are very, very traditional, and they follow only portfolio. There's no value for them for the saloon and photo competitions. So you need to submit the portfolio with a cohesive theme, and they evaluate that based on this. The PSA offers both. There are for individual genre-based competitions, which gives you the star, galaxy, or diamond level for the each genre. And there is a recognition of the photographic achievement through the acceptance. At the same time, they offer you the portfolio, like there are different level of bronze, silver, and gold portfolio-based evaluations. If you look at, just to give you a feel like that, what kind of acceptance and, the number of titles you need to have to gain a distinction of very high level. So if you look at, these are on the right hand side, these are the based on the number of acceptance, the distinctions they offer. It starts with QPSA, then it goes to PPSA with 288, EPSA is 700, GMPSA is 3000, and then there are several levels of GMPSA. There is only one person in India, who has is sitting at the top of this PSA pyramid, is the GMPSA Platinum. His name is Subrata Baisakh. He's the Grandmaster Platinum. He has 11,000 acceptance worldwide, but at the same time, he must be having around 4,000 to 5,000 different titles. So it is not only acceptance, like, the single photo you keep playing and it getting accepted. It's not that. There's a big catch that you need to have different titles also. So if you see on the left, it talks about the titles on the second column and the acceptance on the second column and the number of titles also you require. So the PSA, why I like it very much, that it actually forces you to go out and shoot many pictures on different themes, different, like festivals or peoples or nature. So it improves your skill. So effectively, it helps you. Now, what do you get extra? Suppose you might say that, forget about this competition, distinctions. I don't want anything like those. These are all bullshit. Okay, fine. What do I get extra if I get, like the membership of such institutions? Okay, they all offer you a lot of free courses by the experts. There are one-to-one feedback sessions, mentor service. There are monthly, quarterly, or annual competitions, which are all free. Because you are a member of the institution, you automatically enroll for these competitions. And in these competitions, typically there are all recognition based, not much of, there's no prize money kind of thing. There are genre based forum, like you can be a member of PSA and there is a forum called Nature or Wildlife, say, where you can post all your birds picture, and in this forum, you are forced to comment on other pictures. So it's not an open forum, just like what we see in the Facebook that we just press like and that's it. No. In this forum, actually, we critically evaluate each other's pictures. So that's pretty interesting. And here people, you get a lot of important feedback from the experts. There are a lot of people, and most of them people I've seen that they're all retired and very old. So they are not attached with any mainstream professions, unlike us. So they have a lot of free time and they're very helpful. That's one of the most important things. And I have also seen that most of them came from the analog days, not the digital. So they're a bit of traditional. I mean, they're very finicky about composition and the basic things, which I like, because anyway, you may or may not like the high skill end of photography these days, you know, like you may be still at the very basic and you're still struggling with the composition, which I do. And I find it very useful. There are a lot of engagement sessions one-on-one with the mentors. There are opportunity for voluntary service. As I mentioned, Raju is already actively contributing to PSA as he's maintaining their database. And you can holding on to responsible positions over a period of time. And many of the Indians are now they are directors of approval directors in the different parts of the world. You know, there's one guy is managing all the photo competitions in Southeast Asia, another in Canada, another in say Europe. So these are all voluntary service. So if you are willing, there is always a position for you. And I just copy pasted from the PSA site that what are the other things they offer. As you can see that there are photography courses. As you can see, this image analysis course, and I myself have done plenty of courses with them, and this very, very good. I mean, the analysis is excellent, so it's very helpful. You know, and there are webinar or online sessions which are also there. Okay. So we are more or less coming to almost to the end of the presentation. So a lot of time I talked about mostly the different ways where as a hobby you can approach. Now, the very basic thing which now after hearing all this, you will probably ask me that how do I know how good is my picture? That am I good enough to compete? So to start with, I just put some points, also some of the points I captured from the PSA journal, which I follow very closely. I mean, I love to read those journals. First thing they say is the image you enjoy to look at. I mean, you shoot something and if you feel good about the picture, it's definitely a picture you should compete with. Theoretically, a good image should have the 4 elements. That's a very basic element: composition, exposure, technique, and presentation. And I think on these 4 issues, we had many FSO section presentations and workshop and classroom sessions on this. An image should capture the interest of the observer or judge. It may be unique or common, but to be a winner, it should stand out from all the other images. So, and that's probably one of the key factors. If you are looking for acceptance and typically an award, your picture should stand out. And imagine in a competition, there could be 1,000 to 5,000 pictures, and the judge gets hardly 2-3 seconds. So if the judge do not feel the need to press the pause button, that your picture generally goes into the rejection or scores a very low mark. So what are the features you should look for when submitting such kind of picture? One is the point of interest, then framing, and these are again the very basic element. I think a lot of our experts and seniors, they have already talked about this in the sessions. Background and foreground, close view, cropping, line, simplicity, contrast, balance, viewpoint, direction of movement, diagonals, so-called the rules of third. So these are the very basic items. But I mean, my personal experience is when you do the judging, the first thing which hits your eyes is the light. So I will put light as a topmost in the series, like where your picture can make or break. You know, if it is having some extraordinary light, definitely the judges will press the pause button and then they will start analyzing the picture. And that's it. That's, I think, the most important. And then, of course, the others plays important role too. When you feel you are ready, I mean, when you should take a decision, like, I mean, you have to be serious about your passion. That goes without saying. That it cannot be that just like any other thing you do. It's not like that. I mean, so if you have to decide that it is just for fun or you are really interested in salons and photographic distinctions, the choice is yours. I mean, there's nobody forcing you. It's your money, it's your time, and it has to be your decision. You have to take out time, and there is fun in both, you know. So fun is never lost. So challenge is also fun. Doing something different, excelling, that's also could be fun for you. You have to be conversant with basic rules and regulation. And this is something add-on. Like, I mean, we are not talking about today. Today evening, I'm not talking about your skills on photography. I'm talking about something more what you require. You need to know the basic rules, regulations. You need to know the clubs when the competition is happening. And another thing you have to be aware of, that if you are doing any unethical practice, there's a possibility that you can be banned or sanctioned by the recognized bodies or salons for plagiarism, set up images, baiting images. You can download some pictures and play with it, submit as it is own, but if you get caught, you will be banned forever. So you have to be very careful on those things. So, and the last question you have to answer yourself, that do you have images which are competitive? That's the very basic thing. What you should do, I mean, if you decide on all these things, then you have to also study the past catalogs of any of those photographic competitions. It could be HIPA, Sienna, Sony. I'm not talking about only saloons. So you should understand that what kind of pictures typically the judges are accepting or they're appreciating. You know, that's one trick, and it works definitely. You have to understand the image, the story, the genre, everything. That has to match. You know, they will help you to understand your position. That do you have such pictures? Every image is unique, but may not be competitive. So study rules and basic, and then improvise. Show your skill, make the picture stand out from the others. That's possibly the only chance of winning something. Few tips on submission. My tips will be to understand the genres, as I repeatedly was saying, that don't submit a similar image, because there could be a judge who, if he doesn't like the first image, he might scrap all the 4. But the images are all generally scrambled. It doesn't come that all your 4 pictures or 5 pictures or a series of 10 will come to him in a sequence manner. It's all random. Submit an image that will catch the judge's eye and interest. If the image is too busy or complicated, typically I've seen the people ignore them, you know, that they pass over the image. Watch for the large areas of highlights and take the viewer's eye away from the main subject. We all know these are the basic rules, like do not submit images which are not clean or have a very flat appearance. Like, I mean, typically you have sensor dust, suppose, and when they view it on a large screen, this sensor dust pops up. And the first thing the judges will say that he doesn't have the very basic requirement of submitting a picture. So they generally simply cancel the images. So you have to be very careful. It's almost a very professional way they handle it. Finally, last but not the least, be ready for the rejections. I get more rejections than acceptance, but it should not discourage you, because you should keep trying and improve yourself. Be honest, be ethical, be true to yourself. This is for fun. Just relax and enjoy. This is not a competition, and this will not give you the next promotion in your office for sure. Action speaks louder than words, so keep moving. Don't keep on asking yourself that, shall I or shall I not? There's no point in doing that. You have to quickly decide and then move on. Don't ask for monetary returns. This I really hate it. I mean, people ask me that how much money I can get out of it. Like, it's your hobby, it's not your profession, and again, it's your money, not any other's money. So you have every right to decide that how you want to spend it. And if money comes, for many of you, it has come, it will come, I'm sure, that it's just consider it as a bonus. Go on, have some good dinner, or go and travel somewhere with that money and just have fun. Enjoy the journey. It's a very slow organic process. It's almost took me 5 years to reach a place where I am, where some people now know me. And you have to keep on putting sincere efforts. With time, I'm sure everybody will improve and start entering the competition. So that's my wish. So I hope that's the last slide. I hope you have more clarity now. And you remember that even if you have a goal without a plan is just a wish. So thank you and all the best. So if you have some questions, Livin, if you can unmute everybody, and maybe we can take a few.
Yes. So you can unmute yourself and ask the questions. And before that, I will, if you can enable your videos, I will take a group shot.
Okay. So yeah. I have to stop share and enable the video, right? Yeah. Oh, people are not sleeping. That's a good thing. Everybody is there, huh? Nobody has left.
I think some are leaving, but it's okay.
Everybody looked confused, like looking at the looking at the costs, I guess, like.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2. Some are joining. 1 second. Any more? Anyone else? I'm going to take now. 1, 2, 3. One more. 8. Okay, one more. Ready? Okay, thank you. So you can go for QA session now.
Yep. Questions, please.
Sanjay, very interesting session. In fact, I've been participating in a lot of salon competition in the previous years. Of course, this year I didn't.
So, who is this? Can you please tell your name, because I can't see everybody in the.
Sorry, I can. Yeah, let me change the.
I'm Ajay.
Ajan. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Ajan.
I was just thank you. So I was just looking for some sort of information and guidance. I think this is one of the sessions which really it would help us. In a big way.
That's brilliant. Good that it can help, and you can contact me anytime one-on-one.
Yeah. In some of the competition which I participated, I found that you are one of the judges. I think the last year, few of the.
Is that so?
Yeah, I think you are the judge.
Okay. Yeah, I started judging almost 2 years back, and I do very less because the problem is that I don't get much of time. And like in a competition, there could be 4,000 to 6,000 pictures, and it's extremely difficult. I mean, even if you consider 5 seconds time per picture, and there are typically 2 to 3 rounds. Initially, you have a very basic round where you mark 0 to 5 for every picture. And then there's a cutoff for FIAP and PSA that maximum 25% is allowed acceptance. And then you go to the next round where you put the awards and award sessions, so it kills you. Your eyes start swelling, and it's very difficult. It's very challenging online. Yeah, so if you have any questions, Ajahn, I'm happy to answer. I know a little bit of PSA, FIAP, and RPS now. So no issues.
I mean, this presentation is a lot of explanation to my doubts and sort of thing. Probably I'll
Wonderful.
get a recorded version.
Oh,
so
sure.
I'll go through it, and most of it. It's
I put some of the links also. Yeah. Okay. Good. So be careful with your bank balance.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Next one.
Jaju Kagi, our expert, you want to add something?
Yes, anybody? Any other questions? Yes, Jahid, tell me.
Your mic is yeah.
Hi, I'm Sanjay. It was a nice presentation. It was very good information. Thank you so much. So I wanted to know, maybe you have mentioned, maybe I missed, I don't know, which are the major competitions in Oman. I'm talking about in the Oman, which have every year happens. I know this year may not be happen, but which are the main competition every year happen.
Okay, no, sorry, I don't have that information. Actually, this is why I showed in my slide that you have to be very alert on the social media and newspaper and magazines. If you remember, one of my slides was there. Later on, when Livin shares, I just showed you the path. I don't have the destinations, so I don't have the information which are the competitions happening in Oman every year. Okay, but you have to be very alert on Oman Observer or Times of Oman, or any other Oman Tourism, say for instance, or their Instagram pages. So I'm just telling you the avenues which you have to see. I don't have a list of such competitions. I can tell you one thing offhand, that PSO, Photographic Society of Oman, they organize the FIAP competitions, and they put it always free of charge. And one of our very senior member, Hobbyist, I think every year, I mean, last 2-3 years, I think he won 2 times. I remember he won prizes also there. The certificates in the monochrome. I remember his picture. So you have to be aware. Like you have to be very alert on the social media, and you have to spend time. You have to see that what is happening everywhere. And remember, for everybody, I'm again telling that not all competitions are at a cost. I can see there are hundreds of competitions going around which is free of cost. The only problem with us is that we cannot spend so much of time on the social media. That's one big problem. So, but all this information, I have seen there are people who are extremely aware. You know, like I know a guy from India, and he is extremely alert. Like, and he keeps on getting prizes. It could be 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, one tripod, one Bodoc softbox, anything and everything. And he has a set of 20-30 best pictures, and that's it. He plays with that same picture again and again and again and wins prize. I mean, that's fine. I mean, because he has brilliant pictures. Those 20 are A+ pictures, I can tell you. So I'm sure, I mean, if all of us are alert and we can share information, if we see something in our WhatsApp group that there is some competitions going on, typically say if it is free, and then just pick up your best pictures and apply. I mean, why not?
Sanjay,
Okay.
one advice.
Yeah.
Sanjay, one advice. Like as a beginner, you are given the club institution list actually. As a
Correct.
beginner, start with it. So which one like you prefer me to join? Like as a beginner, like you are given like Society of India, PSI, and
No, okay. Let me clear one thing, Kingston. See, in my presentation, this is one way of going to photographic salon. Okay, but if you look at, I mean, as a beginner, you want to first move into the competitive world of photography. I mean, all of us, we started with Pixoto or Viewbug or Guru Shots and all those, you know, social media web pages. You start with that. I mean, that's not for typically specifically for you. Sorry. I'm telling for all of us, like, I mean, you start with that, then you move on to the Insta pages competitions. I mean, I can see hundreds of competitions going on every day on the Instagram, different pages. You can go through that. Because, and then, sorry, you can slowly move on to the paid competitions in India, where the charges are very small. You know, like, I know some competitions, I tell you, there is one competition in, there's one competition in Nagpur. There's a club called ISA Mostra. You know, there's a guy, Amit Datta, he's organizer. And I participated some time back, 2-3 times. Thankfully, I got cash prize in the consecutive year. One of the year, the judge was Raghurai, and another year, last time, the judge was GMB Akash from Bangladesh. You know, so it's a small amount of money, but why not? I mean, and GMB Akash wrote a fantastic review of my picture. It was a picture from Viva of Vegan in Philippines. And that I remember the competition entry fee was some 200 rupees or something. You know, it's very low. I mean, now and then I see a lot of competition organized by newspaper. The one which I was talking about is APG Photographers Academy in Hyderabad. I remember just last month the competition actually happened for this year. It was on journalistic pictures and travel. There were only 2 sections, and the entry fee was 200 rupees. You know, so what I'm saying is that saloon is the another end of it. But to start with, why not to apply here and there and everywhere? I mean, you start with a small amount of entry fee and start with that.
Okay.
Does that answer, Kingston? And then you can slowly move into the club. Because see, let me add another point. If you finally want to go for distinctions, like I want to have an MBA degree, or which always was in my long-term goal, like I mean, when I started in 2015, that I wanted to have a degree. I have a BE Chemical. I wanted to have an MBA in photography. So which I have now, and that's a slightly costly proposition, and it takes a lot of money and effort and time also. And for that, finally, you have to join some, you know, like the institution. Like I took a membership of PSA. I had to take a membership of FIP, Federation of Indian Photography, because I wanted to have the distinction from FIAP. And FIAP, the only authorized agency is a single focal point in India is FIP. So you cannot apply for FIAP distinction until unless you are a member of FIP, Federation of Indian Photography. So I had to take that. I took a life member of that. Then PSI, I started taking a life member because I found that's a one-time cost of something. It was 5,000 rupees that time. I mean, let's take it. I mean, that's one time. And then I did some distinction. It was a portfolio-based distinction from PSI. So you can do that. I mean, that's probably the next step when you are confident and you get that feel, you know, like, and then you start rolling. And that's probably a good idea.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think Rajdeep wanted to ask.
Hi.
Yeah, hi Rajdeep.
Hello, sir. Thank you for this session. Actually, I have been photographing like through mobile and all that from my means, you know, teenage life, but never got to have a professional good camera, which I've been planning since almost 10 years now to buy a full-time good camera.
Okay.
So, but basically my question is like to start with, what are the basic, like you have already discussed in the slides. My interest is in mostly street and people, those kind of photography. So how did you, I mean, just for understanding, how did you start your initial time? Can you share some photos which got recognition in the initial stage? Like now, obviously you are a very professional kind of this thing, but how to start to get a recognition? Like what are the basic photographs?
How long you were in Muscat and you were associated with FSO?
Sir, I am in Doha. I come.
Oh, you are in Doha?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I come to Muscat for my sister is living there and my brother-in-law is there.
Okay.
So they live in Rui. So I usually come there and for travel.
Okay, okay. See, for us, I mean, for me, in fact, the biggest boost was FSO. I mean, trust me on that. And I'm not boasting because all the FSO members are here. Because my bag of photographies today is full of photojournalism, photo travel, color, mono, nature, everything. Because of FSO, we go out every week. Now, if you see the last 1 year or maybe 1.5 years, the frequency has gone much less. But I remember the time, 2013, 14, 15, 16. Oh my God, every week we used to go out. And Muscat, it's a fantastic place because today you have a bullfight, then evening Nasser Al-Harthi will post something on camel race, and the very next morning Levin will say, let's go to Bidbit or some date, like date plantation and something like that. So you get lost, like, and you sometimes, and there are so many things are happening, and that probably after some time I started realizing it is happening everywhere. I mean, I know my friends in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, they're also doing the same things, a lot of photo walks and associations. So you have to start shooting, and I think this particular presentation is not like how will you improve on the photographic skill, what you should shoot. I mean, Levin conducts, we have conducted various other sessions where the experts have talked about how to take pictures, what are the basic elements and all those. So you can join one of our FSO sessions in future where we talk about more of how do you take pictures. It is like my discussion is today that you already took some pictures. Yeah. Now you are thinking, what do I do with these pictures? I put it on the Facebook, that's fine. Next what? Right. So there I start my discussion. Actually, this presentation is not about how to take pictures. No, I'm not capable enough to discuss on that. We have several sessions on that. But once you have pictures and you feel that these pictures are good, like some pictures, at least 10, 20 you have, which are solid, they're telling those basic parameters like composition, light, and its impact is there, action is there, a beautiful processing or a fantastic sunrise is there. And then you are wondering like, what do I do with this picture? Only to show my sisters and wife and say, oh, such a beautiful picture, or put it on the Facebook and get some 20 or 200 likes, and is that it? So do I want to do something else with those pictures? That's the question which I was trying to answer for some 1 hour time. Like,
I got the very good information, like how to use these pictures in a basic way. Like
that's I think as a hobbyist,
I never knew now. So now I know. So
No, when I talked to Libin, I talked to him that this could be one area which generally we have not talked about in last
exactly.
sessions. Like let's address this, like what we can do. I mean, if you have a goal, I mean, as I said in the very first slides, that if you say it's for fun, and I am to hell with this prizes and accreditation or distinctions. And I just love taking pictures and putting it and seeing it myself. It's fine. I mean, it's a hobby, right? I mean, it's not a profession. You can do whatever you feel like. Nobody is stopping you. Okay, thanks, Razif. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Chandrakantji, tell me.
Good evening, Sanjay. Excellent session.
Thank you so much, sir.
A couple of things which have really made some questions in my mind. First thing is, how do you secure your images when you upload for any of these competitions in terms of...
Okay, let's go one by one. So how do you secure your images? Okay.
That's one. And second thing is, like, for example, if you take a picture and if you don't have to have any kind of processing, if you like the image as it is, can it be also just uploaded, or do you have to have some kind of processing done just to make something a little different?
Okay.
Put into competitions.
Okay, good. So first question is that how do you secure your image? Like typically all the photographic competition these days, I find that they use a software, okay, for numbering, for marking, for evaluation process. There are standard softwares, those are made by PSA, and there are standard softwares available with almost all photographic clubs. And these softwares are made by the IT professionals, okay? So what they do is they basically buy some server space, and based on the particular specification of the photograph, they ask you, say 1920 by 1080, 300 dpi, okay, less than 2 MB files, they ask you. So you pick some, say 4 pictures you have made, okay? Now then you upload it directly on the website, okay? So when you upload it, before that there is a fill up form. So there's an entry form which you have to fill it up online. Okay, so once you fill up, against your name only those pictures got hooked up. So they are linked. So that's identification. It generates some code also. Okay, and that's how your pictures are secured. So it cannot be tampered. Okay, that's the first part. Secondly, as you said that do I need processing? No, of course you don't need processing, because finally all the competition they ask typically for JPEG image. They don't ask for raw image. Except a very few competitions like HIPAA, I have seen that they ask for the raw image from the day one. And there are other competitions where they ask for raw image only once your picture qualifies for the next round. You know, maybe at the final round, they only ask for verification. And that also they do because sometimes they say that we don't want over-processing image. So they want to see the raw file, typically. And that's it. So there is no restrictions of shooting with DSLR. Say like Razif said that I shoot with mobile camera. Nobody stops you to shoot from mobile camera and upload it. I mean, you can shoot it easily with your Samsung. I mean, these days I'm shooting because I don't do anything. I'm cooking different dishes and shooting it with mobile, and it's very difficult to tell that it is a mobile picture or it is a DSLR picture if I show you side by side, because nowadays the mobiles are also giving so much of high quality resolution. And finally, we are doing only a 2 MB file, so how does it matter? So in the competition, ideally, I have never seen unless very few cases where they say there is a separate category called mobile photography category. Otherwise, it's open. Any kind of imaging device you can use, number one. You can upload, typically you upload only the JPEG image, and very few cases they ask you to upload the raw files. That's how it is.
Good.
Okay.
So basically you're saying these competitions accept JPEG as the initial
yes.
entries.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks so much, Sanjay. Great session.
Thanks so much, Sanjay. Yes, Jahid, you have something. Jahid, yeah. Jahid, you have to unmute. We can't hear you.
Yeah, my question is on the chances of how much scope for getting paid, especially in the Shutterbug. What is the name?
Shutterstock, Getty Image.
Yes, I see in the Shutterstock mostly the setup photos, which you had talked about. Setup photographs, especially the product photographs. So, how scope is there for the natural photographs? Even I had uploaded few photographs. Maybe because of it's not good photograph, that's why I'm not get paid. So I want to know how many paid, or do you know really people are getting paid?
Your Zahid, your namesake is getting heavily paid in Oman. You understand what I said?
No.
There is a FSO member named Zahid Hassan, and your namesake, that's what I said, and he is getting heavily paid from Shutterstock for his unique picture of Matra Cornish that Escarve wrote. He took it from the Matra fort in during the Blue Hour time, and you can talk to him and find out he earned more than $300 on that particular picture. The picture is not costing much because people are buying at a very low price. The tag price is very low, but he has sold hundreds of copies. So that's a classic example. We have.
This price is fixed by ourselves or the Shutter?
I don't know how it works, but what I understand from him that he is getting good amount out of that one single picture. And he is with our FSO only. So I'm sure that there are many our FSO members who are regularly posting and earning. So I think, I mean, you need to see the pictures. What I can say is which pictures is getting sold more number of times, and maybe try to analyze that what kind of picture that is. You have to understand that what the people are buying, what kind of pictures people are buying. And then try to shoot those pictures and upload it. See, everything based on some logic, you know, like, I mean, it cannot be luck every time. So you have to do some study, like for the online selling, I'm sure you have to do some bit of study, like what kind of picture sells more on the online these pages.
Okay, thank you.
But Javed, I mean, that's what I'm saying, that there is, I mean, there are examples where people are getting paid. And even in Oman only, among us. I know Javed Hassan, so I can talk about him.
Sanjay,
yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Even for Shutterstock and Getty Image and Almaty, these places also JPEG is what is required, or here you need.
No. Here the JPEG, but if you remember my slide, they need very high resolution files. So you need to make maybe more than 4 megapixel, 6 megapixel kind of files you have to make. You can't make small sizes. Like it has to be the higher it is better. That's what I understand. The higher megapixel is better because so that the people can buy and make larger print if they really decide to buy.
And one more thing, the payment gateway is through PayPal, right?
Yeah, that's through PayPal. Yeah, that's through PayPal. I understand.
Do you know
it's get credited?
How it's working?
Yeah, I mean, the payment directly comes to your PayPal account. So you have to have a PayPal account, and it gets credited. And from PayPal account, you can link to your bank account, and it will directly come to your bank. So it's a reverse way of buying something from, say, Amazon by PayPal. So your, say, HSBC credit card is hooked up to your PayPal, and then from PayPal you pay to Amazon for buying something, and it's a reverse way around.
Shutterstock, sorry, adding a little bit of Shutterstock, taking your time, since Java has got a lot of doubts. I've been, I uploaded a few photos in the Shutterstock for the last 2 years, and I got around $150.
Wow. You see, there's another one. We have another case.
It was a surprise to me. One of the photos, it's a bird photo. It was not very, according to Java, it's not good photo. One bird photo which sold $75. I don't know how that $75 came to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's 2 photos. It is altogether I got around 160, 170, something like that. But out of that, only 2 photos fetched good money. Okay. And it is PayPal, and it comes into PayPal. And every month, if your amount has gone certain, they got a benchmark. If the amount has gone up, higher to that particular benchmark, then automatically
they transfer.
credit to you. Okay, that's it. So there is no worry. We will get the money. But what we do is when we have a lot of other buying through PayPal, so I utilize those things for buying something from other sites. That's it. So the megapixel, I think they want a higher resolution. I think 15 MB or something like that. I don't exactly remember. It should be, if it is lesser than that, it automatically gets rejected. And it is not a good photo. It is the photo, as Sanjay rightly said, they look for the photo which has got a commercial value, or how people will be buying it for. So it is not that you got an artistical photo, that's why you get a, you get more sales on that. Nothing like that. It all depends.
For everyone's understanding, can you just share those two photos? I mean, any one photo?
It takes time for me to take it out from that.
Okay.
But you can go to their website and see, because I think every photo below there is a mark is there that how many times it is sold. Like.
Yeah, that is it. All the details.
They study.
Yeah. Actually, normally each photo will be sold for $0.25. It is very little. Normally,
they work on volume.
It's volume. It's volume on 60.
Yeah. So if you remember my slide, on the very first slide on the those online selling side, I said that they work on volume. So even if you sell $1, but if you sell 300 times, it's $300. So for you, once you post 15 MB, you forget, right? You don't remember where you post. And then if it really starts selling, you start getting money. And that's how it works. So it's on volume.
One good thing about this posting in Shutterstock or anything, you get to know how professional you are in your photograph. Because it is not that whatever photo you upload, it is going to be selected. They got a parameter to identify whether technically it's correct or not. So it is a good yardstick for you to see how is your photos seen as professionally, because they accept the photo once those technical parameters are fulfilled. So they give the reason of rejection also. That's a sort of input to you how your photo is, and how can you improve on your photo.
You can get a critic and review your.
Yeah, I mean basic critics.
Correct.
But the only thing I want to add, what Ayan said, that it's totally on the commercial perspective, not on a typical photo competition. You cannot take that, Like they generally, my experience is people say that they generally reject if you are shooting people because there's an issue of model release. Okay, now if you're typically the photo is very centrally placed, like if our object is at the center, sometimes you don't get their recognition because typically these photos are used in calendars or the cover page or magazines, so they need some space at one part, so you cannot have the entire photo filled up with elements. So I think there are a lot of things you need to study. I mean, nothing is very simple. That there is no shortcut rule. Like, I mean, you do this and it will get. It will do once or twice, but you cannot hit it every time. So you need to study. I think you need to study. I mean, the people who are expert in Shutterstock, Getty Image, I've seen that they are doing it day and night, for last 2-3 years, and then they have excelled. They shoot typical pictures, which can go very well for calendars, for book covers, for magazine covers, for tourism advertisement. They shoot typical pictures. They don't shoot just like you and me. So we have to study that. Okay, good. Any other things?
The National Geographic thing, like if you have to
see Nat Geo, as I understand, these days they have stopped that Your Shot, Nat Geo Your Shot, because they moved. They had some, I think, the sponsorship issue. So they stopped that one. They moved to Insta pages only. But they are, I heard that they are not giving the critic, because previously if your photo is selected by Nat Geo, you get the main Nat Geo like Ami Vitale or somebody, they used to comment on your picture. Because my concept is this, that when you are putting a picture in this kind of website, you are basically expecting some feedback, isn't it? Some critic analysis kind of thing. So first of all, in Nat Geo, not all the pictures you are putting, they will recognize, correct? They will only recognize when they really feel the photo has a lot of stuff. And when they do it, it goes to your daily dozen. And while going to daily dozen, the Nat Geo the contributors or the editors, they will write some comments, and which you are looking for, because you want to learn, you want to see how these experts are looking into your picture. So nowadays that is stopped completely. So you don't get that opportunity. Nowadays, getting critic is the most difficult task, I think, I should say. Getting critic from everybody, because not always you will ask for critic from me or him, or like not from just like anybody. You want critic from experts, and these experts now, and everything is money related. Why they will give you free advice? You tell me. Who has time and who has that patience? Nobody gives. So everything comes at a cost. I mean, it's as simple as that. And that's why I feel that PSA is one of the good websites where you pay around $45 a year. But there is, in 1 year, I suggest that you can have huge potential of learning. That's a very interesting thing. Otherwise, you have to catch hold of, like say for instance, Sudesh Shivram. I mean, he is also offering online courses, right? And where he said that Sudesh Shivram on wildlife photography, correct? I mean, he's so popular. He's so popular in Bangalore, and he basically, his course is for 1 year, I think, some 10,000 rupees, and he invites that you come. And that's only for wildlife, and there will be separate. Many people who can do for street or landscape or different online sessions are there. That is another way of learning.
I think is mostly for wildlife only. So
yeah. So there is only for wildlife. I just took it because you see, Chandrakantji, one thing also you need to remember. See, once you are reaching that level that you are an expert, you don't tend to be a generalized person. Okay, you tend to focus on one particular genre, and you want to share your experience only in that genre. So that's a very simple commercial approach, because I don't want to share my advice with each and every genre, because neither I am expert nor I want to do it, because I want to focus on a particular genre. So I will charge you only this much for wildlife. Why should I say that with 5,000 I will share my experience with you on street, people, studio, wildlife? It doesn't make sense, They will not do that. They will not do that. See, remember, all these people, their bread and butter is photography. Like if you are talking about Rathika Ramaswamy or Sudesh Shivram or Amy Vitale or say that Reddy, that Sapna Reddy, or anybody. I mean, they are professionals. So that's like your core competency. So they will not. I mean, you ask me anything about chemical engineering, I will not share anything without you pay me money. As simple as that. So I think that's what I have realized in the last many years. So nobody shares their tricks. I mean, I don't believe much on this workshop. Livin knows I have not attended a single FSO workshop, because I don't think they will teach you their trick. Nobody does. Why should they? I mean, that's their bread and butter. Why they will share it? Their particular the style of processing and all, that will be their unique. And that's what probably I have seen that, I mean, the recognized photographers, you see their pictures and you tell, like, I mean, just for an example, if I see Rohit Bora or Vinit Bora's picture today, and you show me a picture, I will tell that it's possibly it is Rohit's picture. Or, I mean, one of the Bora's picture, because their street is so unique, so that's their, I should say, the signature, what they have developed over a period of time. And neither they will share with you or that trade they have developed over a period of time, putting a lot of money and effort. And you can't learn that just by paying 5,000 or 10,000. And what I suggest is, I find that the tremendous amount of material available today on the internet itself. So if you have time and patience, better to start with the internet. I think that's a starting point, should be for any of us. And then slowly you find out that what you want to do, very specific, and then focus on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Livin bhai.
Raju.
Yes, Raju.
Hello. Yeah, just adding with Dada's information, with Dada's permission, I would like to add some few points. Since Javed bhai asked about the thing, how to enter into the saloons and where we can get the timetable or something. Please, for this reason, we may have to visit the Photography Society website, where there are links of timetable. Exhibitions, current exhibition host link is there, which I shared right now. And you like that, you can go to FIAP timetable also. You can put the filters which country or which thing you can go. And in that timetable, you can get the particular saloon website address. And you must read I insist, you must read the rules and regulations of particular saloon or circuit. That is very important. If possible, record it. Make it PDF conversion and store in your particular file, which you are entering into the saloon. That is most important. Okay. And one more important point is cropping the page and the size of the image which the saloon or circuit asked for. I point, the saloon or circuit asked for the size and shape, size and crop page. That is very important. Okay, so never forget that these two points, because you over a period of time, some people which some saloons or circuits which I observed over a period of time, they shut down the website, and you will end up with recording the data. Okay, so every year or every quarterly you have to submit. In case of PSA, every quarterly you have to submit the details to your PSA star certification. And in case of FIAP and FIP, you have to submit in a yearly basis. So you have to maintain the data. So in such cases, if the if the page is gone down, then you don't get any information. So that is most important. So please record your rules and regulations of that particular saloon or circuit, and size and crop space of the image. Okay. So normally 1024 into 768 or 1920 into 1018. These are the familiar sizes which the saloon people ask for. And 1 MB to 4 MB, 5 MB file sizes. That is very important, so that you practice all those things first. How to crop the image, how to resize it, and how to store in a particular folder, which Dada has guided me a lot. And after that only I started my journey. And for good critics, somebody asked about how they want to understand whether their image is good or bad or something. They want to understand. So in such cases, I preferably go for 500 pics. I put my image if I got any doubt or anything, which I want to understand from the experts. Okay, so I put that particular, I post that particular image into the 500 pics. There are so many experts who come and explain you what are the things good and what are the things bad, or where you have to improve. Okay, so better make your
Can you repeat, where did you say?
500 px.
500 pics. 500 pics. Okay, so you can get all those very good critics, mostly on the positive side. Okay, so they will guide you how to improve your crop size, crop or composition or something else. There are very much good experienced photographers are there. They will guide you. So I think most of the things Dada has covered, and hope everybody will boost their knowledge and in competitive mode. Right, Dada?
Thank you. Thank you.
Choice is yours.
One question.
As of now, I'm with Dada's guidance. I'm Photography Society review team member as a volunteer. I'm well known in the world of PSA photography salons.
That's what I said. So, I mean, if you have a free time, you can actually do this voluntary service to the photographic institution. So, I mean, if you look at your long-term goal, like for me, I want to spend my retirement doing this voluntary service. Why not? So that's a good example. So you can pursue, and then later on you can join their governing body. You can be just like Raju Bhai. You can assist them for maintaining their database, or you can mentor. You can take workshop. You can do many things. I mean, there is. I mean, there's a huge opportunity if you really love. I mean, if you feel that you can. I mean, you want to do that. The choice is always yours. Yeah, I think
you can take my help also.
Yes, Sunil Bhai wanted to ask something. Yes, Sunil ji.
Hi. No, I just wanted to ask, even in 500px, you get these feedback only on the being a pro member, is it?
Raju Bhai, the question is for you.
Pardon me, Sunil Bhai?
Raju Bhai, 500px, the feedback that you get it only once you are a pro member, is it?
No, nothing. Not like that. You can, you just create your profile and you can keep posting and you will get the critics. Like Instagram and all, we keep posting, no?
Yeah, we get the likes, but I am there in
No. Instagram doesn't work on like or dislike. Instagram, 500px will not work on like or dislike. It will work on the critics.
See,
all the experts, they will analyze. No, people don't come for just to like or dislike. That is very professional, not like Instagram or Facebook. 500px is entirely professional.
Raju Bhai, I think what Sunil Bhai is asking is, if you are putting 10 pictures, suppose, on the 500px, is it a mandatory by the 500px editor to go to your page and write the input for each and every single picture, knowing that you are a free member, not a professional one? That's his question, I guess.
Free member also will get a critics.
No. Is it mandatory that every picture you post it, they will come and criticize? They'll give your input.
Most of the time, they will come and criticize. Whoever at that particular moment or when the page is scrolling also, if the number of critics are more, then people will come and visit that particular image. Why the critic is getting more?
I guess you are quite lucky. I guess you were lucky because I have not seen this in 500px.
Well, that's what, even I have not seen
I'm getting
so I was
no, that's right. Like I tell you my experience, when I was a free member with 1x.com, I put some 7-8 pictures. None of my pictures were featuring on 1x.com. The day I took professional membership, because there were 50% reduction was going on for first 3 months, they were giving just 2 weeks back, they gave the membership for $15 for 3 months. I took that, and immediately in the first week I hit 3 with my 5 pictures. So I have a very strong, like smell on how this algorithm works, and Levin is smiling because he is in IT, so he knows he can write this program in no time, in 5 minutes, that the person who pays, he gets the first preference. It's just to prioritize the thing. The person who goes to other profile and comment and like and dislike, they get the higher preference. So Levin can write it in 5 minutes, and you can find that Sunil Bhai is scoring every day, every week 1x.com picture. Isn't it?
Exactly the point, actually. See, but only
it happens sometimes. But I never experienced so far in the 500px.
You are lucky. Let's try, Sunil Bhai. Let's try 500px.
No, I've tried, David. In fact, just about half an hour, 45 minutes back, there was one load which I've just done. No, but 500px at least, openly says that you
one more thing.
Pro and
you choose a particular time where you choose a particular time when the people are watching you. You time.
How do I know when they will?
In India, most of the people come online after 4 o'clock. Like that, in Oman, maybe people will come online after 1 o'clock.
See, the tricks of the trade are opening up now.
6. Yeah. So when the people are observing, most of the people are interacting with the same page, That time you have to understand. Say for example, in 500 pics, most of the Western people are there. So in that time, around 11 o'clock you post it. You will get the feedback.
More visibility.
Yeah, more visibility. That's
how. Yeah, I think all this, I have a strong feel now after 1x episode that it's all based on algorithm, nothing else.
Yeah.
So it works on that.
Normally,
otherwise, I mean, there could be thousands of pictures being posted.
Yeah, every moment, thousands of pictures keep on scrolling.
And Raju, you know that how much time as a judge I get to see those pictures, right? Less than 2 seconds.
Yeah, even I experienced so.
So then it's very difficult.
Hardly we get 2 seconds to observe those for judging those things.
Yeah.
Hardly 2 seconds.
But I can share one of the small, my experience, what Chandrakant was also asking. See, I am a member with PSA for more than 6 years now. From 2015, I'm a member. And I did almost all the courses, and these courses are free. You know, so I did one course with them. It's called image analysis, where they give you 3 months time, and there are some 12 sessions, and every session they give you some 2-3 images, and you have to analyze. And there is a specific style of how you analyze based on certain composition, certain parameters, and you really can't say the picture is bad. You have to always say that I feel the picture is bad, because it's a very individual perspective. You cannot generalize because it's an art form. You know, like, so something which is not liked by me, maybe Livin will like. So there's a specific way they train you to write a critique. You know, that's the whole idea of the image analysis course. And they give you a picture. I remember the first picture of a towel which was falling on the bathroom floor. And you had to analyze the towel because it's the towel is creating a lot of lines and shades of the towel with the light of the bathroom, and how it merges with the bathroom tiles. It's a mess. Trust me, it's a mess. We are so habituated in shooting camel race, and from there, if you give me a picture where the towel is lying on the floor, it's a very different perspective, and you have to analyze
how it looks.
Yeah. How what you can you know, like what you feel about the image. Nadia, you were talking about, Raju?
Yeah, there was a girl on the clouds.
And okay. Analyze that. Yeah, true. Yeah. So it's fun. I mean, so there are very different perspectives you learn. So if you are looking for,
I really learned a lot on image analysis.
So this is what I said, that what you get as an extra from PSA, and probably many of us are looking for this because we are not getting that kind of feedback. I mean, I hear the complaint, and I am also a culprit of not giving comments, not posting picture. I'm sorry for that. But that's probably one of the alternative. If you are too keen to know that how good is your picture, if you are unable to assess that one, that's probably one. And you can always join the FSO sessions. I mean, post the pictures, get on to.
Really, FSO has taught us a lot.
Yeah, this is good.
Thanks to Levin for that.
Good to hear that, Raju.
Thanks to Baiju Dada for teaching me so many skills. And
yeah, absolutely. FSO is our learning ground. Like, I have at least 60% picture from FSO, like FSO outings. Okay. Yeah. Anything? Otherwise, we'll close.
Yeah, that's really interesting session. I think this is the one of the session we went QA session for more than 30 minutes. I think that's really good. Sanjay, all the credits to you, and Raju bhai, thanks for support.
No, I guess this was quite different, right? I mean, we are not talking about how to hold the camera and what ISO speed you should take. So it's very different. And thank God that nobody asked me that how much money I spent.
Can I guess?
No, don't guess. I mean, let them also spend. Like, at least I can see Ayal is now into that road, into the highway. So, and Nagraj is not saying anything. He kept his mouth shut. He's saying so. No, but as I said, Raju bhai, I mean, as I wrote in my slide also, it's your money. So you have full right to decide how you want to spend. You are not taking from anybody. So it's your money, it's your hard-earned money. You want to waste, you can always waste. Why not? I mean, you are not answerable to anybody. And it's for your hobby, it's for your passion. So why not? Some people are driving a big car because that's their hobby. I mean, nobody is questioning that why you are driving a big car, why you are not driving a Toyota. Then why the hell you are asking me why you are spending money on salon, why you are buying a big high-end DSLR? I mean, it's my money. I can do anything. So this is only what do you call that avenue, like to how you can proceed with your passion, and that's it. That's all about the presentation.
Okay, thank you. We'll wind up if no further questions. Okay.
Thank you, Sanjay and Levin.
Yeah.
Good information.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. It's good, enjoyable session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. Good night and stay safe. Take care. Yes. Bye, Rajdeep. Hope to see you sometime in Qatar also. You will guide us.
Welcome. Welcome.
Bye bye. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.